joint can give you a headache. Right. I'm telling you, it's a tough little track. You got to get to the front. There's only one way to get there. Pushing and shoving.
There's a will, there's a way. Work hard, 'cause at the end of the day, the Lord helps those. Hey, keep my head down. Gotta keep on singing. Hey, I'll keep my head down.
By the grace of God and 20 horsepower tonight at Millbridge Speedway, it's the Kart City Performance 30 and 40 for the DNQ Busch Series and DNQ Cup Series, as the DNQ Busch karts are on the grid getting ready to go for practice. But we are here in the booth. Hello and welcome to another version of the DNQ Dirt Series. I am Bob Duato here with Alan Beslick, and Alan, this season is starting to run down, and we're getting to the spots of races here where it's really important to gain points.
Yeah. It's great to see new sponsors come into the DNQ Series. This week we have Kart City Performance out of Indiana, kind of far away, but still has interest in the DNQ Series to grow their business. It's great to see them and have them on board.
Kart City Performance builds engines for the DNQ Dirt Series. They actually build Brad Buskirk's engine, and he's been close this year, but we'll see if he can get it done.
Yeah, he needs just a little bit more. I don't know if he needs a little more drive. He needs a little more tire, a little more motor. I think he needs a little bit more of everything, but I don't know. Maybe this race, his motor builder might have stepped it up.
Well, let's look at some of the headlines we're going to cover today. LJ McCleary has been one of the drivers over the last couple weeks that has been impressing with a low budget. We'll talk to him later on this afternoon. Brad Buskirk is fresh off of a win in the Lead 2 Real Estate Series. We talked to him and asked him how close he thinks he is to winning a DNQ Dirt race after the biggest win of his career. And Dan Ridenhour, the subject of much conversation after the last move he made. Last year he won 2 of these races. This year struggling, and he almost won the last race. We talked to him about that last race move. Well, LJ McCleary is one of those drivers running on a limited budget in the DNQ Dirt Series, but still doing very well despite his budget for this year.
Yeah, surprisingly. You usually don't see teams like that be able to run worth a fuck, really. But he's one of the guys that's able to make do with what he's got.
LJ McCleary started running this series this year, started at AAR Speedway, and has become a regular, and that's always good for the series, and it's always good to watch him out there running with everybody else.
Yeah, he's trying to make a name for himself, and what's better than to do that in the DNQ Series?
Well, Tony's down with him right now. Let's go down to Tony.
Now, LJ McCleary has been a regular in the DNQ karting series this season, and LJ, you're out here again at Millbridge. What's the plan for tonight?
I'd be happy with the top 3. You know, we've always been right there. It'd be hard to compete with Ridenhour and Nye and those guys. They're pretty hard to beat. So if we could just hang with those guys all night, I'd be happy.
What's it going to take to hang with those guys? They've had a lot of speed all season long. What have you been fighting? I mean, this car seems to have been not quite as fast as those guys. Is it all under the hood? Is it all tires? Is the driver falling out of the seat? What's the scoop?
Well, we got plenty of motor. I believe it's the tires. Absolutely is our problem there, and pretty new to the dirt game, just trying to figure all that stuff out. So tires, I believe, is going to be our biggest factor in getting more speed. So.
Well, that's LJ McCleary. He's going to try to do his best to unseat Tim Nye and some of the front runners and the big dogs here in the DNQ Karting Series.
Well, always good to hear from a series regular like LJ McCleary, Alan, and I think as we keep going here, we're going to see some good stuff out of him.
That was really good, actually. LJ McCleary. He just needs to keep running and get his budget up. If he keeps getting those high finishes, he can put more money in the bank. His name gets out there. He can maybe grab some sponsors. Really, I think all he needs is money at this point, Bob.
Yeah, I agree. And let's go down to Brewski, who's at the Classy Cat in Rochester, New York, for some insight. Tim? Hey, guys, welcome back. It's Tim Brewski, and I'm here in Rochester, New York at the Classy Cat, where I am sampling some of the worst talent we've ever seen. Actually, I think our DNQ Busch Series has more talent than what's in here tonight. But as we look at these races here coming up, I'm really excited about what's going on with the series. But let's hit up some of the biggest news that's coming in the DNQ Karting Series. It's a Kart City Performance News and Notes. Well, Ryan Flores, is he leaving DNQ Dirt Series? Ryan Flores has decided to sell or rent out his equipment, but he has also expressed the fact that he might run a few of these races towards the end of the year when we get to the short track in that Rainier Racing Kart. In other news, Eddie DeHunt Jr. has decided to depart Chad Ardner Racing after the race tonight. DeHunt cites that he needs to handle his cup issues because he ain't run worth a shit all year before he worries about running in the Busch Series. DeHunt has yet to finish a series race this season in the Cup Series. Another news is a new youth movement coming to DNQ Kart Series. The series has now lowered its limited age limit to 16 years old in both series, and we're looking to see if that is really going to bring out the younger peasants that are out there in the series. Well, I'm done talking here. I'm going to go back inside the Classic Cat. Let's send it back up to the booth. Well, we mentioned it earlier, but Brett Buskirk is one of those guys to watch, a Kart City performance driver for the Kart City Kart tonight. He has had a hell of a run and won the Lead 2 Real Estate Series race last race. What do you expect from him tonight?
Well, without that partner Brett Peters that he had last time, I don't know if he can get it done on his own. But that being said, he can rely a lot on his Kart City engine, who is also sponsoring the race. So they're going to bring their best shit. It's just going to be a matter of whether that fat query son of a bitch can stay in the seat for 40 laps.
Well, you see some of his stats right below us. But Tony Stevens is down there with him right now. Tony, what do you got?
Brad Buskirk is by far the most versatile driver of the DNQ Karting Series. He runs not only here on the dirt, but runs in the Grand Am Series as well. And Brad, you're coming off a win at Victory Lane Karting a few weeks ago. Can you end up in Victory Lane here, or are you just going to suck like you normally do?
Well, I tell you what, we got some new power from Kart City Performance sponsoring the race, Kart City Performance 40. I tell you what, in practice, this thing is stout. And with all the momentum we got coming from the Grand Am Series, we can get it done tonight, Tony.
What does it take to actually be fast here? We've seen everybody chase Tim Nye. They've chased Dan Ridenauer. They've chased everybody except you, unless they're chasing you to the beer stand, in which case they're chasing him at least in something. So what have you done? I see you've got some nice carbon fiber on here. You've got, well, that's really about the only nice thing on this thing.
Well, we really don't know what it takes to get it done because we haven't got it done yet. So I don't know. Maybe I can steal some secrets from Timmy Nye.
How do you plan on doing that? I heard if you're really nice to his wife, now that his wife's expecting, maybe he'll give you some secrets.
I wouldn't doubt it. He'll probably lie to you. He's that kind of guy. I'm going to have to go in incognito, spy on him. I got a spy or two here, We might not get it done this time, but we'll be ready next time.
I heard Kyle McGowan has a chicken suit he'll loan to you.
Really? I might need it. Does he have some fruit punch, too?
Nobody has a giant bow box you can wear it in.
Okay, that's good.
Brad Buskirk, look at that. He's not playing by the rules, but he doesn't care because there's no rule that he's breaking right now at all.
Always good to hear from Brad Buskirk. Dan Ridenauer, another name we really wanted to touch on today. This point last year, he had just won his first race and then started putting a hurting on everybody. He's got a Triton here tonight. Do you expect that from him tonight?
Well, that should bump up his performance a little bit, but there's nothing like him being the bridesmaid. I was talking to him earlier before practice, actually, and he brought 2 left shoes. He was like, I don't know which pedal to push. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know if he's wearing shoes right now, Bob. He might be going barefoot Bob McCready.
Do you think this is a night tonight where he comes out and wins a race? He has not won yet this year, and I really think he's close.
He's been right there knocking on Timmy Nye's backside, but it's just going to be a matter of whether him or Timmy Nye or Holzbauer, who's been running good, it's going to be, who's on the grape soda right there at the finish.
Well, it's last race we had a little bit of a hectic finish, and let's take a look at that right now. As you can see right here, Daniel Ridenauer doing all that he can do to win this race, moving Tim Nye out of the way to try to get the win. Very controversial. Only for the next lap, Corey Ingolstead got in the way, moved him up the racetrack, and opened the door for Tim Nye to get the win. Let's go down to Tony.
Last race here at Millbridge Speedway, one of the guys a lot of drivers are very upset over was Dan Ridenauer. And Dan, last race you used the bumper, you used the side of the cart, you used everything but your fist. Are we expecting you to use the fist at some point tonight?
No, sir. I try not to race like that. I'm just going to do what I can to win and hopefully get lucky. Nye's been real good. I'd like to thank my motor builder, Jim Farmer, my dad for helping me do everything I can to race every weekend, and God for letting me race. and Dustin from Quality Tire, and Joel from Chrome Plating. But thank you.
Always had to look at the cart to figure out who the sponsors were. That's okay. That's all right.
Never mind.
It's only the DNQ series. It's not like your cup racing or anything. But there, at Coca-Cola, there you go. In all seriousness, though, you've been second, third, fourth, second. It seems like every spot but a win is where you finished so far this season. What is it going to take to get you in victory lane here tonight?
To get in the turn faster. Like I say, we've been loose getting in, and like I say, I got a Triton this weekend, so I'd like to thank Harold for the Triton. But like I say, hopefully the go-kart will make the difference this weekend.
Well, we'll certainly find out if it's the go-kart, if it's the driver, or maybe it's the lack of weight he's toting around. One way, we'll find out.
So as we're looking at the points here, Corey Ingelston on top of the lead. This is without drop races, Tim Nye in second.
Yeah, and Brad Buskirk and David Markham, the Rookie of the Year battle there, tied for third with 39 points, surprisingly ahead of Dan Ridenhour, who's been strong all year.
Barry Mack, what do you think about this?
Well, I love to see that Milton Bradley Buskirk is in the third position.
Well, earlier today we had the heat race for the DNQ Peasant Series, and Andy Hunter won that. Tony Stevens is down with him right now. Tony?
The DNQ Busch Series ran their heat race a little bit earlier, and Andy Hunter, you schooled him in that heat race. Heat race is only a handful of laps compared to the feature. What changes are you going to have to make for the big show a little bit later?
Well, we need to stay with the tires. The last race, we schooled them in the heat race then, too. We just slacked off in the main, but we got superior tire management. We're going to take it all the way to the front and hopefully lead every lap.
What can you do to these tires? We know the Maxxis CLs are basically plastic. They got rubber on them, but you can't do a lot to prep them. Without giving away your secrets, what can you do to those tires to actually get an advantage?
Well, honestly, I mean, it's just garbage tires, and we're garbage drivers, you know, like the show showed last week. So all the talents in the trailer working on the tires, they don't really tell me. He just tells me to shut up and listen.
That's probably a wise idea. No talent behind the wheel at all. None at all. Andy Hunter, I don't care if he does win it. It wasn't his fault he won.
Well, good luck to Andy Hunter in the feature, and the DNQ Busch Series carts are getting ready, Barry.
Yeah, they're getting ready to race, and the only good part of this series is the free bush after the checker flag.
Yeah, it's a shame Josh Heidkamp didn't show up, but, you know, I got a text from him before the race. Said he's chasing pussy.
Well, the DNQ Busch Series getting ready to go. We'll be right back with their feature event.
Every day you wake up and wonder, is this going to be it? Is this going to be the day? The day it all clicks. The day you break through. The day you stand out above the rest. The day everyone remembers who you are. The day you stop wondering if you belong here. Is this going to be the day?
Welcome back to Millbridge Speedway as the drivers in the DNQ Busch Series getting ready to go for this stock engine race. The chase, another big part of this. There's only 2 more races left till we set the chase field. And Barry, what are you looking most forward to in this feature?
Well, you know, this is like when the guys like Phil Parsons go to call one of them K&N races. I need to look at my cue card to see who these guys are, but I don't have it tonight, so I don't know who any of these guys are.
How's it going?
Yeah, and then you see Tim Williams, a true peasant at heart, and Eddie DeHaan Jr., another peasant, suiting up to run the feature here.
His last race in that cart for these guys, and it's about time he went and focused on something else because he is yet to finish a race. But let's take a look at the starting lineup for the DNQ Busch Series. In row number 1, it's Andy Hunter and Derek Nunley.
In row 2, we've got Jordan Rumage and John Jarrell.
In row number 3, we have Tim Williams and Eddie DeHaan Jr.
Final row for that. It looks like Eddie DeHaan Jr. has just got his cart fired up, ready to go for the one to go. That, I don't know what he had going on there.
That's one beat-up piece of shit he's in. I don't know. I wouldn't sit my ass in that thing.
I don't think Stormin' Norm Banning would get in that thing.
Well, here we go. We've got 6 carts here tonight for the Busch Series, the same amount that we had last race. Green flag, we are underway. The winner will go on to the chase. And are they still half throttle here?
Goddamn, I'm bored already, Bob.
Well, guys, do not be confused. This is not the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series field at Gateway Motorsports Park last week. This is, in fact, the DNQ Busch Series.
Yeah, very slow as we see Jordan Rummage making the move on Derek Nunley. He's making his way up towards the front. These some of these carts are friggin' rough, aren't they?
You know, well, the good thing about having a rough cart is when you're racing a bunch of peasants, you ain't scared to knock the fenders off them. But the thing is, these motherfuckers don't have enough talent to keep it in the groove, so they're going to knock the fenders off regardless.
Let's go down to Brewski. Tim?
Guys, looking at this race right now, I really think there is more talent inside the Crazy Cat than there is actually out on this racetrack. I take my original statement back. These guys have 0 horsepower, and they're getting strung out. I mean, that's embarrassing. I remember back in 1996, we had old David Marcus shake down one of our cars, and he was at least 3 seconds off. He said it handled good, but I said, David, that's no shit. You're about 3 seconds off the pace in those wingtip boots and your Goodyear hat. And I tell you what, that's it really just, if you're a no-driving son of a bitch, it does make a difference. The driver makes up a lot of it. And that's why I'm wearing my Ryan Truex Jr. hat on here tonight. Reminds me of somebody that just gets up on the wheel in a go-kart and nothing else. So tonight we're really stretching the talent level tonight, and it's embarrassing, but that's about it, guys. I'm done. Going back inside.
Well, let's go through the field with Vince Welsh. Vince?
Running in the first position is Andy Hunter. Lancaster, South Carolina's own, has taken the lead and has been waxing the ass on the entire field. Very similar to Eric Jones or Kyle Busch in any Truck Series race. Looking into second place is Derek Nunley from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Derek drove his ass all the way up fucking I-85 to get here tonight to run second place. He ain't worth a shit, and he's cheating. In the third place, I'm waiting for the graphic to come up. In third place is Jordan Rummage from Prague, Czech Republic. You'd have thought he got on a plane to get the fuck over here, but in fact, he lives in North Carolina, and he's terrible because he's running in third place. But behind him, no, folks, that is not Carl Long. That is, in fact, Tim Williams from Jamestown, New York. Tim has reported to his team that the car is feeling great. Well, no shit, Tim. You're running in fifth.
Thank you very much, Vince Welsh. And Tim Williams is making the move on Czech Republic's own Jordan Rummage, trying to make the pass on Jordan Rummage, who has lost all control of his throttle.
I think he's adjusting the jet there, Bob. He's adjusting the jet.
Trying to get more power, running up on Tim Williams' ass. And what happens when that throttle breaks, Barry?
Well, when that throttle breaks, guys, you can't slow down. If you can't slow down, you're going to hit something.
Well, we have our classic to go, 5 to go caution. Thank God this was...
Even the flagman's bored.
Yeah. I thought somebody was mowing grass. I wasn't sure what was going on at the racetrack. Well, here we go. The most exciting part of this race, the 5 to go caution, green flag. We are back underway, and we'll see if Andy Hunter continues to wax that ass.
They're 3 wide going into 1, and they're side by side by side. Here we go.
Nunley must have got up in the loose stuff there.
Nunley, I think he just he fucked up.
Looks like Tim Williams is making a run for third place. Can he dive it inside on that number 2 car?
Tim Williams, rookie in this series, his first start, brand new kart. They just built it and brought it out here.
Yeah, Andy Hunter here still hanging on to the lead with a little bit of pressure from behind.
Impressive for Tim Williams. He is about 55 years old and out here racing tonight.
Yeah, he's about as old as Darrell Waltrip and I, and he's still out there getting it done. Very impressive.
Good to see. White flag in the air for Andy Hunter. I don't think anybody's going to touch him.
Thank God this is the last lap. I couldn't wait for it to be over.
Coming off of the final corner for the first time in the DNQ Busch Series, Andy Hunter is going to take home the win.
Guys, that was more strung out than a cup race.
Good win for Andy Hunter. He had his shit together tonight, and he is down in victory lane with Tony Stevens.
Here he is in victory lane, DNQ Busch Series action. He's got a 4-pack because this place ain't quite good enough for a 6-pack. It is the peasants, after all, of the DNQ Busch Series. Andy Hunter come here. What a performance you put on. Did you know this kart was that good when you dominated the heat race earlier?
I did, because I got my tire man over here from Superior Tire Management and Catfish Motorsports. The best there is.
Last restart, obviously the yellow flag we have in the DNQ Busch Series with 5 to go. You had a pack behind you, and a lot of them, I think, maybe were saving something. Did that worry you at all in those final 5 laps?
Well, it worried me. I knew the 67 was fast, but I was on the inside of him. That's probably the only reason I outrun him, but it seemed like I was better the longer we went, so here we go.
Well, that is Andy Hunter, the winner of the DNQ Busch Series feature here tonight at Millbridge Speedway. He's got himself, well, about a 3.5 pack now to celebrate with.
Well, Andy Hunter puts his name into the chase and moves on. Another good Peasant Series win. The second winner we've ever had in DNQ Busch Series.
I tell you what, he put a hurting on them boys tonight, Bob. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody protests and claims that motor.
Well, that can happen in the DNQ Busch Series. You can do whatever you want. You can claim the engine for a certain price. But let's talk about the Cup Series action we're getting ready to see here right now. The points have actually been very close, despite what the series looks like recently.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is right there. You got the top 5 who are all neck and neck, and whoever's going to push each other out of the way at the end really jumbles up the finishing order. So it's going to be a I expect another very exciting race tonight.
Let's look at the points right now as we're talking about them. Well, the drivers and their children, LJ McCleary's child getting ready to go. They're cleaning that thing. That's very good to watch. But the DNQ Cup Series getting ready to go for their next race, Barry.
Yeah, boys, and when I had my son, Brandon McReynolds, I brought him to the track, and we did the same thing on Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s car.
Well, drivers getting ready to go for the Cup race. They're all racing for that right there, the Busch Light. Coming up next, it's a Kart City Performance 40. Chase starts right here at Victory Lane Karting.
Format turns the sport upside down. 16 nations preparing for battle.
3 rounds of elimination.
They call it the chase grid. It's going to be epic. I don't know any other word to describe it.
I have never seen a championship like this.
This chase grid is a whole other beast.
You got that right.
These eliminations will not be counted.
4 drivers battling for the cup.
You can feel the tension down here in the garages.
There are trapdoors to fall through everywhere. Everybody's on edge.
This is like no other playoff in racing.
The only easy thing here is losing.
Nobody knows what to expect. I mean, we're all guessing.
I don't want to get too excited, but it's hard not to.
Rusty, what do you make of all this?
Oh, man, this is going to get interesting.
One thing's certain. These guys are going to have the hopes and dreams of a nation on their shoulders.
Kart City Performance 40, live from the Millbridge Speedway. Go to kartcityperformance.com for all your go-karting needs, parts, pieces, and DNQ engines. As we see Daniel Suarez there with Curtis Markham. Well, Alan, we've got driver intros going on right now, and who are you taking for tonight?
Well, tonight, you know, I take Brad Buskirk. He was the fan favorite last year, and I think being the Kart City race with the Kart City power, he's going to get it done tonight.
Well, we had a couple interesting driver intros. Let's listen in to some of the boos and cheers we had here.
Number 92 tonight's main event, the 7-11 of Daniel Reinhauer. Right over. Starting on the pole for tonight's top-notch action of no time, in the number 200 machine, Corey Ingolstein.
Well, the drivers are getting ready to go here. A different style of track we've seen here before. It's very slippery out there. We heard a lot of guys bitching and complaining about it sliding everywhere on this track.
There's also a big old hole right in the entrance of 3. So you're going to have to arc it on in there and get right outside that hole to be able to get that shot towards the finish.
Well, we'll see how the drivers drive this racetrack tonight, but they're getting ready to go. Well, the command has been given to fire the engines, and Corey Ingolstein starting from the pole. He needs a good race tonight.
Yeah, he does. He's been second, third the whole series. And here we go. Dan Reinhauer is going to crash and rock to win the race.
Daniel Eisenhower, fan favorite out here, but let's not count out Tim Nye. Probably going to put another one on the win column tonight.
One driver I would like to watch for is Matt Holzbauer. He got so close to winning that race till the engine flew apart last race.
Yeah, and here we go, Brad Buskirk, last year's Fans' Choice.
Well, while we're looking at all these drivers, let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup for the Kart City Performance 40. Starting in row number 1 on the inside is Corey Eggleston. Outside of him, Dan Reinau.
In row 2, we got LJ McCleary and Tim Nye.
Row number 3, Matt Holzbauer and the Rookie of the Year contendant, David Markham.
Row 4, first start in the DNQ Dirt Series for DJ McQueen and Bradley Buskirk.
And in the final row 5, you have Eddie DeHunt Jr., NDF.
We'll have a couple in-car cameras for tonight. One of them is the in-car camera of Bradley Buskirk, the Kart City Performance in-car camera. The other one that we'll have for tonight is the louder construction in-car camera of Eddie DeHunt Jr. That's an SJ camera. It looks very high graphic. Well, the field coming down. Green flag. We are underway for the Kart City Performance 40.
Well, boys, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of cars out there. What happened to that car count?
It's down, but we're looking for quality, not quantity in the series. And, you know, you have a couple guys out of town, but look at this action we're getting right now. Already 3 wide.
Hot and heavy right away from the start, Bob. This is going to be a good race.
Yeah, looking at Brad Buskirk trying to make his way up through the field. He started towards the back of the pack and starting to cut his way through.
And I want to point something out from Milton Bradley Buskirk. He dove it in there and stole those 2 positions from those guys, but that's what you have to do here early on. Very similar to the Cup Series. You got to steal the positions on the restarts or you're fucked.
Well, the caution is out, and there's a wheel. Rolling down the racetrack, never good. And there it is. Yeah, we were looking for quality, but Eddie DeHunt Jr. obviously didn't have any. Let's look at that again in the Kart City Performance in-car camera instant replay.
And it looks like, here we go, diving off into one, and there goes the left front. He just, you know, he should be in the Busch Series like he was racing. I don't know why he gave up the Busch Series and not the Cup Series. But
Well, boys, he just done lost the left front there. Shitty job of checklisting. When I was a crew chief for Dale Earnhardt, that never happened.
Oh, you can't checklist your shit drunk, and we've been through that plenty of times. Getting ready to go for the restart. Daniel Eisenhower in the lead. Green flag, we're back underway, and the card I said to watch earlier, Matt Holzbauer, already up to second.
Yeah, he's banging on that door right now. He dives to the inside, pushed by Corey Eggleston.
Let's go on board Brad Buskirk in the Kart City Performance in-kart camera. He's working Tim Nye, starting to cut his way through the field already.
Yeah, Bradley Buskirk is doing all he can to get on the grape soda early in the race because he understands if he can grape soda the guys in front of him. Oh, God, big wreck. Hang on. Someone take the mic.
The caution is out. Let's look at that again in the Coyote Motorsports instant replay. And looks like he was going for the lead. It was Matt Holzbauer, and he gets chopped by Dan Reinauer.
Bob, that was that big hole I was talking to you about earlier in the broadcast. You got to go around that big hole. You can't just drive it on in there deep.
As that happened, DJ McQueen had spun out, and that also brought out the caution. As you see in the far distance, Matt Holzbauer spun out. And this was under that caution. Eddie DeHunt Jr., they fired his cart up, and it took off on itself. I think he's done for the night.
Yeah, he should definitely be racing the Peasant Series. He needs to get the fuck out of Cup.
Well, that cart's wedged under there. Good luck to him getting that out. Daniel Ridenhour back up front. Green flag. We are back underway. Holzbauer still in second because the caution was for McQueen.
Well, guys, look at them right here. Notice on these restarts, you're going to have a lot of guys do a lot of things that you shouldn't normally do. Like, look at that guy on the inside. Dive it in. He understands he's got to get the position.
Brad Buskirk doing all that he can to get past Tim Nye. And, oh, very big move there. Brad Buskirk to third.
2 at once. Corey Eggleston slips up, takes Timmy Nye with him, allows Buskirk to slip in there to third.
I'm surprised Nye is not better than he is right now, Barry. What do you think he's fighting right now?
I think Tim Nye's fighting the case of the fried chicken and grape soda. He's racing as hard as he can, but he just got grape soda right there, and there's not a whole lot he can do. Caution's out, folks.
I think he might be fighting with his old lady.
Caution is out for DJ McQueen. Once again, has spun on the racetrack. His first start not going so well for him in the DNQ Dirt Series. Let's go ahead and take a look at that again in the Lead 2 group instant replay. And I'm not sure, but looks like he ran out of talent.
Yep, Slap ran out of talent, spun on his own, Bob. He should probably run the Busch Series first.
Yeah, loses it there on his own. Barry, what do you got to say about that, losing it on his own there?
Well, guys, we've seen guys come through here like the Stanley brothers who chose the wrong tires and wrecked every weekend, and they usually don't last around. So I wouldn't be surprised if this DJ guy doesn't come back.
Green flag back underway. Dan Ridenhour up front. Does he keep the lead here?
I don't know. He's got Holzbauer and Buskirk right behind him. They've been strong so far, Bob.
Tim Nye running back there in 5th. I just wonder if he's saving his stuff. We might hear from him later as Buskirk goes to the inside for 2nd. Good run for Buskirk so far, Barry.
Buskirk's doing well. Kind of reminds me of a night we were here back in July many years ago with Jamie McMurray, and he did the same thing.
Jamie McMurray is probably one of the king drivers of driving hard when he needs to. Contract year, he will sack up and win the big races just to keep that contract going.
Well, as you know, this is Buskirk's engine builder's race. This is a sponsor. This is a home race for Buskirk, so you know he's going to try to get up on the wheel and get it done.
Buskirk may McMurray it here tonight as he looks to the inside of Ridenhour for the lead. Cannot quite pull the move off.
Daniel Ridenhour is the equivalent of a Dale Earnhardt Sr. for the locals here at Millbridge Speedway. Fan favorite. You can hear the 10,000 fans cheer when he takes the lead.
Yeah, people take their shirt off, wave it around their head. This is Dale Earnhardt of the DNQ Dirt Series, Daniel Eisenhower. He is a legend in this series.
As you have last year's most popular driver, this year's most popular driver, you've got 2 of the icons of DNQ running 1st and 2nd. Let's just hope they battle it out for the win at the end.
Brad Buskirk trying to make that move on the inside. Let's go on and the inboard camera with him. Just cannot quite clear Dan Ridenhour right there.
Well, Daniel Eisenhower has been racing here probably since he was 5 years old back in the 80s when the Days of Thunder movie wasn't even done yet. So he knows how to get around Millbridge, and he's been in this position before. So you know that Bradley Buskirk's going to have a very hard time passing such an experienced guy.
Watching Matt Holzbauer and Tim Nye battle it out. Just still wondering if Nye is riding back there. And the rest of the field coming by. DJ McQueen trying to make the move on LJ McCleary. And the caution is out. Well, while that brings it out, let's talk about the Lead 2 Real Estate Series next race, the Pit Lizard 500.
I can't wait for this race, Bob. This is where the Pit Lizards qualify for the guys. It's going to be head-to-head. Last year, there were gang signs thrown. There were bitches tearing their tops off. It was unbelievable. I can't wait for this year's race.
Corey Eggleston parked his cart, and let's go down and listen to what he has to say.
It's got no grip. Decided to go a little harder, and it was too hard. Now we're going back to what I heat raced on. Just a ride to the last 10. Hope it's enough.
Down here in the booth, and we see Corey Eggleston's cart right behind us. They're changing the tires on that car, believe it or not. Perfectly legal in DNQ.
Yeah, and it's a good opportunity because he wasn't quite there. You know, Ridenhour and Buskirk were really putting a whooping on him. He was fighting with Timmy Nye for, 3rd or 4th. But, yeah, now's the opportunity to change the tires, get your shit right, because we know we're going to have that 5-to-go caution.
We'll see this helps out Eggleston in the rest of this race. Eggleston rejoining the field after that tire change. Do you think that's going to help him out, Barry?
It's probably not going to help him out one single bit. Once you get back there in the back of the field, probably not going to pass many guys for this. Get a lot of dirty air back there, and it just sucks the car down. Y'all can't make any passes. It's just, once you get back there, y'all done screwed. That's why everybody stays out on these pit stops.
Green flag, we're back underway. We'll see how that dirty air affects Corey Eggleston. And he is already trying to make the move on David Markham. Brad Buskirk trying to make the move on Ridenhour. He cannot quite make it just yet.
I think he's driving a little bit. You know, he's being nice so far in the race. He's saving all that grape soda and that fried chicken for the last 5 laps.
Well, he gets right up to his bumper and just cannot do anything with Dan Ridenhour right now. Alan, what do you think that's a cause of?
Well, you see, I think what he's trying to do, Bob, is trying to get him aero loose. But what's happening is the track is so bumpy. That splitter, it's bouncing all over the track. So that aero, it's just going all over the place, and he can't get up there and get on that tire to make him aero loose.
Oh, it looks like he got him loose enough. Is he going to make the move? Brad Buskirk to the lead over Dan Ridenhour. Barry, did he pack enough air in his rear end?
Well, I think he packed just enough right up in this center like we talked about before the race. But what I'm concerned about here is look inside. Daniel Eisenhower and Matt Holzbauer looking inside of Milton Bradley Buskirk. And you got to think, what is the shock package that Daniel Eisenhower's running tonight? Because he may have made an adjustment under the caution to get some more travel in that left front.
I agree with that. And you look at Tim Nye right there. He's always just right there ready to pounce. And Man, I'm telling you what, Brad Buskirk must have had about 5 bush lights before this race because he's running good.
He stayed up there on the outside. Holzbauer tried to pack it in there. You see Tim Nye, though. I'm worried about him. There's the caution.
Caution out again for DJ McQueen and David Markham going for a spin in turn 4. DJ McQueen, another spin.
Is DJ McQueen, has he caused every fucking caution so far?
DJ McQueen, far from Lightning McQueen. He's slow as shit.
Well, once again, we really want to hammer this race home. It is the DNQ Lead 2 Real Estate Series Pit Lizard 500. Women qualify for these guys for the chase, Barry.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the fights that are going to go down after a couple Malibu and rum drinks that these fine ladies have.
That is the Lead 2 Real Estate Group Series Pit Lizard 500, July 12th at Victory Lane Karting. Well, the field pacing here, getting ready to go back to green. Daniel Ridenhour brought the Triton out. Let's see if he can hold off that Coyote chassis of Bradley Buskirk. Green flag back underway.
Buskirk got a big push from Holzbauer on the start, and there you see him looking inside. He's got it.
Let's go ahead and crank it up for you guys at home. We hope you enjoyed that version of Crank It Up. Let's go down to Vince Welsh for a late race break.
Tim Nye is doing all he can to stay in the position that he's in. He is running in 3rd place, but he just hasn't had what it takes to stay up front today. I talked with his crew chief, and they think that they've just missed it on the travel between practice during the day and the race at night. Look for Tim Nye to try and go for 2nd place, but he's never going to come anywhere near 1st.
Thank you very much, Vince. And I know that under the last caution, they talked about moving the track bar down a couple rounds.
Yeah, but if they made that change, it's working because he's catching Buskirk, but Ridenhour seems to be holding that gap to 1st.
Dan Ridenhour checking out in front. You think Bradley Buskirk's running on bush meters, running low since Tim Nye's going for 2nd here?
I don't know. He might need just a little shot in the ass because there he is. He's on the grape soda back inside Tim Nye.
Grape soda push to pass puts Buskirk back in 2nd place.
Well, guys, I did look over in Bradley Buskirk's pit before the race started, and they had a lot of Welch's grapefruit soda over there. Not to mention the Bojangles and so in his pit.
Well, it's about 5 to go. Who you got?
Right now, Ridenhour, he's been putting it on him. I don't think Buskirk, he doesn't drive dirty enough. Ridenhour's going to put him out.
I got Tim Nye. He's won 2 of the last 3, and he's going to get it done tonight. Field getting ready to go here. Double fire restart, 5 to go.
Oh, this is it right here, Bob. They're side by side. They're going to get on the throttle. There you go. Buskirk gets a good jump on Ridenhour. He's to the lead. Big push from Holzbauer. Tim Nye to the inside. And they wreck. They're 4-wide wrecking.
Oh, jumping wheels left and right, and that's going to bring out the caution. Dan Ridenhour got shit canned by Tim Nye, and you know what? You cannot help but think of last race where he did the same thing to Tim Nye. Let's look at it again, the Kart City Performance instant replay.
Yeah, guys, if we just look at this replay here, mayhem everywhere all over the racetrack, but most importantly, you see Timmy Nye get on the Melon 1 watermelon right there and Kool-Aid Daniel Eisenhower up the racetrack.
Ridenhour had nowhere to go. Matt Holzbauer in the loose stuff there, and the rest of the field trying to check up, but they started jumping left rears left and right. LJ McCleary right there jumping Ridenhour.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Timmy Nye got on the bush to pass a little bit early going into the corner, and LJ McCleary, too. It just turned Ridenhour and Holzbauer. Holzbauer still wrecking under caution right there. Jumping Eisenhower like it was his fault.
One more look at it right here, Barry. And what do you think? Do you think Nye was getting back at Ridenhour for last month?
Well, you never know for sure, but these drivers never seem to forget who fucks them over, and I really think that may have been the culmination of it there, but we'll never know 100%.
One more view from it right here. Nye just slamming the shit out of him. That really hurt Matt Holzbauer when you get down to it.
Yeah, it's a shame because he was having a good run last race. You know, he ran strong, but then had a chain failure. His shit just wasn't that good, but tonight he was having a good run, and it's a shame that he got put out on that.
Under that caution, Corey Ingelston, our points leader, is having a problem with his kart. That's going to be costly.
Yeah, like we said earlier tonight, Corey Ingelston probably not going to make it back up to the front. Once you got to change tires like that, your night goes to shit, and it just looks like right there. And if you ask my friend who's a crew chief, Greg Ives, you'll see that the same kind of shit happens in the Cup Series.
Well, here we go. We've got 5 laps to go. Green flag in the air. Can Buzzkirk hold off Tim Nye?
If I was in the driver's seat right now, Bob, I would not want to be Buzzkirk because we've watched these races before, and we know what happens with 5 to go.
Matt Holzbauer up to third. He was not the caution. He maintains his position. Dan Ridenhour was the caution. He had to go to the back of the field. Maybe he'll make his way through. DJ McQueen spun out a shit ton times tonight, back into 4th.
Yeah, great run from DJ McQueen. Somehow he's managed to get back up to 4th. But look at Timmy Nye closing in on Bradley Buzzkirk. You got to wonder if he's going to get on the grapefruit soda if he can get close to him. Hang on. Jamie McMurray just sent me a text and said, look out for Buzzkirk because I think he's going to hold on here.
Oh, caution was out. Man, we had about one more lap to go there, and it's, well, never mind. You already knew who it was before we saw it there. Let's look at it again.
That's called 5,000 in baseball, Bob.
Dan Ridenhour had a part of that caution there. He got up in the loose shit, knocked him up there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's no surprise Dan Eisenhower trying to get back up to the front with some no-driving fuck there still on the outside getting up and loose stuff. He's done.
Well, we're going to see the green and white flag. Tim Nye's got to do something if he wants to maintain that lead. Green flag and white flag is out. This is the final lap.
Oh, this is going to be good. Here we go. 1 and 2. Here we go. Timmy Nye going to dive bomb him. No, Eisenhower. Eisenhower dive bombs Timmy Nye. Buzzkirk wins. Buzzkirk wins. Finally gets it done.
Brad Buzzkirk finally takes. Oh, and Tim Nye falling over his kart, trying to wait for Dan Ridenhour. I think. Let's look at the end here again in the Kart City Performance as a replay, Barry. I don't really see that rough. I mean, do you?
Well, I think you're going for the win here, and you got to do what you got to do. Daniel Eisenhower, let's not forget, he got spun out. Got spun out by Timmy Nye. You know, just hard racing out there.
Tough break for Nye as Buzzkirk takes his victory lap. Great win, sponsorship deal, and he's, I think he's out of gas there. But let's go down to Tim Nye, who was part of all that action towards the end of this race.
The victim of all the paint swapping and all the fender rubbing, all the door slamming, and all the hip checking was the guy right over here, Tim Nye. And Tim, it looks like you channeled a little bit of your car owner, Rowdy Burns, or maybe you channeled a little bit of his driver, Cole Trickle. You hit everything but the pace car tonight. What actually happened in those final 5 laps?
Well, during the week, you know, me and Ridenhour will pick on each other. Up here drinking beer at the Speed Sport Challenge a couple weeks ago, you know, he's picking on me about he's going to wreck me. And last race, he tried to, okay? So then I was told he was going to wreck me, and I wasn't in the lead this time. So I was thinking, what would Ridenhour do running third? So I tried to get him down there for the win. You know, I'm not going to be the one to sit here and listen to it and get it done to me. So I did it to him, and actually he was passed anyways. Brad had him. Brad Buzzkirk cleared him for the lead, so I was just trying to get him out of the way to keep up with Brad. So it was fun. That was actually the most fun race I had. Me and Matt Holzbauer side by side. Like, I couldn't clear him, and we ran probably 10, 15 laps straight just battling for third. I had fun with everybody out there, and thanks to Jerry Mullis for putting a set of tires on it because we were trash in the heat, and Brandon GRP for doing all the motor stuff. And I think we learned a little bit this week about some stuff, what not to do with motor stuff. I think we're going to go back to basics and come back next race, hopefully stronger than tonight.
Was it motor tonight that lost you the race, or was it simply tires and the fact that everybody else has caught up to where you were running?
I think we won the race with the last, before that last caution, we had it won. And then we might have had a shot. We didn't have a shot in the last corner, but then Ridenhour really screwed it up for us. But, you know, whatever. That's just him being him, which I feel bad that he got kicked out. I don't want him to get kicked out because I want to race with him next month, you know. So maybe they'll work at it. I don't know. Heat of the moment shit. It was fun. Ready for next one. Can't wait.
Tim Nye, although a lot of drivers would be very upset, he seems to be taking it all in stride.
Well, good to see Tim Nye taking it in stride. Tony, let's take a look at these final results for the DNQ Cup Series. Brad Buskirk takes it home. Holzbauer in second. Ridenhour got thrown to the back after a rough driving penalty.
Buskirk going back-to-back, second time in history, first time for a Fat Query son of a bitch.
DJ McQueen with a top 5. But let's go down to our second place finisher, Matt Holzbauer.
The tech shed seems to be the place tonight, guys. More late breaking news in the pit area. Dan Ridenhour has been disqualified due to rough driving. Matt Holzbauer, that means you inherit a runner-up finish here tonight at Millbridge. Have you ever seen a DNQ race this wild?
No, that was about as close as we ever were running. That was a good race tonight. Everybody was pretty equal. I think everybody's starting to figure it out. So we'll see what happens. I was a little bit off on tires. Thought I was going to be able to get back underneath Buskirk on the 5 to go restart, and then Ridenhour slammed me up into 2, and that was all she wrote. I had to battle back from there.
Talk about those final couple of laps, because it seemed like that's exactly what it was looking from the outside in. It was a bunch of paint swapping, a bunch of door slamming, a bunch of guys not very happy with one another. Were there some other emotions going on, some scores being settled in those final 5 laps?
I don't know about scores being settled, but tempers were flaring, that's for sure. After I knocked the nose off of it from Ridenhour, I was hot, to say the least. So if there's one person I was shipping to the fence, it was going to be him, even if it was for last place. So he races like that every week. We'll get him.
Then the last corner, you, I believe it was, and Tim Nye got tangled up. What happened there coming to the flag?
No, it actually wasn't me. I was sitting in 4th, and it was Ridenhour and Tim got together. Ridenhour just doored the shit out of him, and I was able to drive by Tim for 3rd. I almost got by Ridenhour too, but then they threw him out, and I got 2nd anyway, so who cares?
As Matt Holzbauer, he ends up in 2nd spot after coming to the white flag in 4th. Man, this was a great one, guys. Probably one of the best DNQ races I think we've ever seen here at Millbridge.
Well, Brad Buskirk finally gets it done. First win in DNQ Dirt.
Back-to-back rental and dirt series. That's only the second time we've ever seen that done, but the first time by a Fat Query son of a bitch.
First time we've ever seen it back-to-back. He joins Bronson Butcher in the win column, the first ever driver to win back-to-back. Let's go down to our 3rd place finisher.
Well, it wasn't David Markham that went bam-bam on the final few laps, but David Markham, you were the beneficiary of the bam-bamming out in front of you. What did you see from your seat in those final few circuits?
I saw a lot of craziness. Coming to the 5 to go, the whole race I was just trying to wait, just trying to keep my tires under me, just trying to be ready there for the 5 to go caution. And I just had a feeling right before we went that they were going to wad it up. And I was luckily on the inside, and they just piled into each other, and I tried to shoot the bottom, got up to 3rd, and then they pulled me back to 6th. Then we tried again. People were wrecking in front of me, and I don't even know where I finished because I was just trying to dodge people there at the end.
It looks like you've done a full night's work. Look at this. The hat's off. Look at that. He's got mud, dirt, everything all over his face. How fun was that tonight? I think that's probably one of the most fun-looking races we've seen in quite a while here.
It was really competitive. You know, I started near the back. I kind of let people go, and I was just settling in to see what I had. And I was last in line, but we were all on the same straightaway. You know, we were really close, and it kind of sucked because I couldn't really get a pass on anybody because we were just so close. And we put a new engine on for the race, and we didn't have the right gear on it. I was floating the valve, so that made it a little difficult to get people on the end of the straightaway. But, yeah, the racing out there was spectacular. I hope the fans loved it at home.
I'm sure they did love it, and the fact that Tim Nye didn't win might make them love it that much more. David Markham makes him love it. We think finished 3rd or thereabouts. Nonetheless, great run for the number 10 group.
Well, Barry, let's take a look at the DNQ Busch Series results, and you see that winner Hunter there gets moved to last. Illegal front driver tooth.
Well, yeah, you can't have an illegal front driver tooth. We appreciate authenticity in the DNQ Series, and that's just not allowed. Congratulations to Nunley on the win.
Guys, late breaking news in the DNQ Busch Series pit area for the first time in the history of this series. The winner has been disqualified, and Derek Nunley, you are now the recipient of the trophy here at Millbridge in race number 2 of the Busch Series. What in the world happened in the tech shed?
He had a wrong size clutch gear on. I had a 19, we had a 17. We was right. Cheaters never win.
Now, for somebody watching, what does that extra 2 teeth do to this car? What kind of advantage does that provide?
Made him faster than I was. Yep.
Is it simply straightaway speed? Is it a matter of you get up out of the corner quicker? What exactly does it do? Or are you wide open and simply is top speed?
I don't know, man. Them things are slow, so I don't really know. They're slow.
Nonetheless, I'm sure you had a lot of people to help you. They were pretty happy. The problem is you guys didn't get any beer to celebrate with. How do you think the DNQ guys are going to rectify that?
If I win next week, next month, bring me a 12-pack. But I just want to thank everybody, Brian Mollis, my brother, Jake Kimbrell, Superior Tire Management, BMR Bodies, Shayna, my girlfriend, and my little one right here, Zoe.
Those are the people that make it all happen. Derek Nunley and Victory Lane, guys. You never know what's going to happen until they clear the scales.
And the Pit Lizards. Always got to thank the Pit Lizards.
Got to thank the Pit Lizards, he says. I think I would agree with that. Hey, let's go find some, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
See you guys. We're out of here. Bye.
Well, Tony, good luck with your trip to go find some Pit Lizards. But let's go down to Victory Lane, where Brad Buskirk is waiting.
Busch Light Victory Lane here at the Millbridge Speedway. And for the first time in his career, Brad Buskirk not only does the double, but he wins one in the DNQ Dirt Series. The Busch Light is flying. The tire guy gets soaked. The promoter gets soaked. And Brad Buskirk, I think you just gained 20 pounds when you go to the scales here in about 5 minutes. How good does it feel to finally get this monkey off your back? I feel like you're about 50 pounds lighter already just looking at you.
It feels so good. I mean, running Timmy there and running Eisenhower there, man, that was tough. Those guys are good. I tell you what, it is such an honor to win the Kart City Performance race with Kart City Performance Power. I know those boys have worked overtime in R&D. That thing's been on the dyno so many times. The chemist right there, I got to thank him. I mean, he's had some chemicals that are just out of this world. That's what got it done.
Normally, you think of a chemist, you think of something else, but in kart racing, very, very important. The last 5 laps, the trademark DNQ 5 to go yellow, you had Tim Nye on your bumper, you had Corey Ingliston, you had Dan Ridenhour, you had a lot of heavy hitters right behind you. What was going through your head at that moment before you came to that green flag?
Well, Tony, I've watched a lot of DNQ races, and I know what happens at 5 to go, and I knew what exactly they were going to do, and I knew I had to do it better, and I did.
Say they got turned behind you, they were crashing them up, smashing them up, and then you came off the turn, came back to the final restart with 1 lap to go. You had Tim Nye immediately behind you. What did you do to beat him?
I just got on the gas early. I knew that motor had it, and I just stayed in the gas. I knew what he was going to do, and I matched his every move.
He couldn't get to you. He ended up spinning out in turn number 4, but Brad Buskirk, you are now a winner. Not only the DNQ Dirt Series, but the DNQ Lead 2 Real Estate Series, 2 in a row. How do you plan to celebrate?
Let's just say that Charleston is going to be lived here in Mooresville tonight.
Brad Buskirk, a very, very happy competitor here at Busch Light Victory Lane, and he's still got beer left to spray on the crew.
Well, Dan Ridenhour gets thrown out for rough driving by the racetrack, not by the series, which is a difference, and he's going to miss the next week of competition.
I mean, that's really not a surprise because, you know, we've seen Dan Ridenhour drive dirty for the last couple of races, but, you know, it's great to see Buskirk finally get that win. He's been right there the whole time, and the sponsors race, so it's great to see that happen. Timmy Nye right there again as well. Great to see him actually get beat.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tim Nye was running the table on this series. Good to see him get beat. Next race is at the really short track, the SKE short track. We're going to see a lot of excitement there. If you thought you saw excitement in this race, can't wait for the next one.
Well, I can't wait for that one. It's going to be like Martinsville. They're going to be beating and banging. There's going to be the chicken wings and the grape soda flying. It's going to be a battle.
Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll get back to you next race. Woo! All right. What a great night we had of racing. Brad Buskirk, the first driver to win 2 in a row. Cannot wait to go to the SKE short track next race.
Congratulations to him. Congratulations to Kart City Performance on winning their own sponsored race. This was a great race. You know, good to see somebody finally beat Timmy Nye.
We'll see you in July.